Hi, I'm Steve Baskerville, the weatherman on CBS 2 in Chicago. I'm here to help National Runaway Switchboard facilitate module number 6 of the Let's Talk Runaway Prevention Curriculum entitled Runaway Reality. I presented this module to a group of young people in Chicago. I invite you to use this film to present this important information to a group of young people in your community. I think what we're going to go through is something that will teach us a lot. Some things you may know already, and some other things might totally surprise you. But the reason why we're here, what we're going to attempt to do in the time that we're together, is to learn as much as we can about the reality of running away. Who is it that runs away? How do you come to that point in your life where you say, that's what I have to do? What should you be thinking about before you reach that point? The first thing that we're going to do is what we call the Runaway Reality Quiz. Let's take about 5 minutes to answer the questions on the reality quiz. Question number 1. What ages are youth at the highest risk for homelessness? Anybody say D? D. D happens to be the right answer to that. Actually, instead of 15 to 18-year-olds, it is 12 to 17-year-olds are at the highest risk for homelessness, and even more so than adults. So the answer to number 1 is D. Question 2. The number 1 reason youth call NRS is?
Well, I say D, family issues.
Okay. Anybody else agree with that? That's the correct answer. Consistently, family issues account for the majority of all the calls to the National Runaway Switchboard, 29% last year. This category includes divorce, remarriage, problems with siblings, and conflicts with family rules. Question number 3. Youth of what age call NRS most often? The answer is E. Youth who are 17 call NRS most often. It's followed closely by 16-year-olds. Question 4. Who calls NRS for help? What do we think? Anyone choose A? What about B? What about C? D? Police officer? What about E? Actually, everybody is right. Even though everybody is right, the answer is all of the above. So if you chose any of the others, just combine those with the real answer is E, all of the above. Anyone who cares about runaway young people can call the National Runaway Switchboard for help. In fact, the NRS calls consist of almost equal numbers of youth and concerned adults. Question number 5. Who calls NRS more often? Females actually outnumber male callers 3 to 1. Question number 6. How do most NRS callers find the 1-800-RUNAWAY 24-hour phone number? The correct answer for that is C. How many people have that? C, through the phone book, through the tried and true phone book. These are all methods, however, of obtaining the number. I mean, you can find the number through all those ways, but NRS callers are 26% in terms of calling through the phone book, finding the number through the phone book, or directory assistance more often than any other source. So they find it through the phone book. Question 7. Approximately, what percentage of youth crisis callers have run away before? The correct answer is C. 32% of National Runaway Switchboard's young people call report that they have previously run away at least once before, so it's 32%. Question 8. What's the average length of time that a young person's on the run before calling NRS? Anybody think it's A? Anybody think it's as long as over 6 months? So the feeling is that it would be less than that. What about 1 to 6 months? 1 to 4 weeks. You're leaning more toward the shorter period of time, and you're right. 42% of runaway young people who call the National Runaway Switchboard do so within the first 3 days of leaving home. 15% call within 4 to 7 days, 24% call within 1 to 4 weeks, 16% call in the 1 to 6 months, and only 3% call after being away for over 6 months. Question 9. According to NRS statistics, what's the most cited way in which young people report supporting themselves once on the streets?
Family and friends.
A, family and friends. Is that what you were going to say? Family and friends is right. 49% of the callers report surviving with help from family or friends and relatives while they're on the run. Question 10. How many housing options are in the NRS database for youth 18 and under? Anybody have D for that answer? 750? That happens to be the right number. The database lists 750 options for alternatives housing in the United States for young people under the age of 18. Yet estimates are that anywhere from 1.6 million to 2.8 million young people run away every year. How many got all 10 of those right? The National Runaway Switchboard, the number is 1-800-RUNAWAY. We want to encourage people to use that number, and that's 1-800-RUNAWAY.org. So that'll be a very valuable place to go and look up information if you have any more questions about options and stats and who folks are that we're talking about. There's another approach that we want to take to getting to this crisis and getting a feeling of what it's all about. And it has to do with the book that was written, Augusta Gone, and what the whole runaway issue, at least in terms of a very personal level, is all about. A mother whose daughter has run away and how they both dealt with it individually and as a family, and what were the things that developed as a result of Augusta running away. And we'll listen to what we hear and then have a little mini discussion about what that makes you feel or what you think as a result of what you've heard. So we got the parents' point of view, and we also have the youth's point of view, and let's start with the parent. Is it clear why Augusta ran away? Did you get a sense of that from the excerpts? Why do you think? How do you think the mother's feeling with what you heard? What's going on with the mother? Is she totally surprised by a lot of what's happened? Was she aware of it at all? What do you think?
It seems like she's trying to ignore it all. Like, after looking back, she's like, oh, I saw it as a sign, but at times, like, I believe her because she's my daughter.
So it was there, but she was kind of ignoring it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. Do you think all of this was a shock? I mean, in terms of hearing all that Augusta had gone through and what she had been dealing with?
Well, it seems like she sort of saw some of it coming, but I feel like she, like what someone said before, she didn't want to face it, and so I guess she was probably a little bit shocked to just hear it all at once.
What about Augusta's point of view? What did you learn about her from what you heard, read? It's time for a reality check. That's what I'm going to call it. The reality check is maybe you are someone or someone is out there that has made the decision to run away. That you're saying, that's it, I'm hitting the door, I'm gone. There's got to be things that you think about if you're planning on doing that. I mean, what should be going on in your head if you've made that decision to run away? What is it that that you ought to be facing in terms of running away? Maybe there's a list of things that you ought to be thinking of and considering if that's the decision that you've made. And we're going to come up with our questions, hopefully. I've got a list of questions that the National Runaway Switchboard has provided that are the perfect checklist in the sense of trying to come up with a group of questions that one should consider if they've made the decision to run away. I want to get you to come up with your own list of questions, and we'll do it all together as a group. 10 questions to ask yourself before you run away. What would be one of the main questions that you're going to ask yourself before you hit the door?
Who are you hurting by running away?
Who are you hurting by running away? Who is it that I'm hurting when I run away? Yes.
If I did run away, I certainly knew where I want to go.
If I run away, where am I going to go? If I run away, where am I going to go? Yes.
Sort of along the same lines, how will I survive?
How will I survive? How am I going to make it if I choose to run away? Now I'm going to read you the questions that the National Runaway Switchboard said that one should consider before running away. What else can I do to improve my home situation before I leave? What would make me stay at home? How will I survive on my own? What makes running away unsafe? Who can I count on to help me? Am I being realistic to make this decision? All right, do I have a plan that is well thought out? What are my other options? Now, if I end up in trouble, whom can I call? If I return home, what may happen? So the National Runaway Switchboard's hotline, the 1-800-RUNAWAY is the number to call if anyone is faced with that problem. I need your help in groups now. Oh, we need a campaign, and we'll all come up with our different campaigns to hit home the message of the reality of running away. All right? I don't know quite how I should phrase that, but basically what it is things to do instead of running away. Kind of what we've talked about, all of these points, things that you ought to do, things you ought to consider. These are steps you take before you run away, and we'll do it in poster form. When they see your poster, they'll say, whoa, I better think about that. Oh, I get it. Okay, we ready? We ready for the challenge? In groups of 3, I want you to brainstorm these, and I'll give you a while to think about it. It could either be a picture form, it could be in writing like we have on the board. We're going to give you some things, some tools to work with. If it makes it any easier, you can come back here and physically, or if you want to talk first and come back, that's fine, but one group there and one over here. In a moment, you'll see what these youth came up with for their campaigns against running away. But before that, I'd like to thank Richter Studios for filming module number 6, Runaway Reality. I'd like to thank you for showing this film and encourage you to present another module of the National Runaway Switchboard's Let's Talk Runaway Prevention Curriculum. It's available at www.1800runaway.org. And remember, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 1-800-RUNAWAY is available to help youth and their families. This is Steve Baskerville from CBS 2 in Chicago.
Up here we have basically 2. This one, we portrayed him as the person who's thinking about running away, and he like goes to this person for advice.
All right.
And basically that person is asking him, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to run away?
Yeah.
And then this guy looks confused. He says, I don't know, I'm not sure.
It's one of the other options is instead of just running away, find someone to talk about. It doesn't need to be your parents. Go to a friend. Go to a school person. Just talk about it. Get it out there. Maybe they can help you think of something that you couldn't have on your own.
And I love it. You got it right here.
Yep.
Just talk. Talk about it. What's going on here?
Well, here it's actually, this is another one of the options you can do instead of running away. If you're having problems, you can just put a lot of your energy into something that you enjoy doing. And somehow try and work out your frustration, your stress through that.
And the things you already know about doing, things that you already give you joy, at least. Okay. So you offer what the problem is, you offer solutions, and you end with, what do I do next? Terrific.
So we did a basic advertisement for NRS because they can help you with the options.
Okay.
So we did
okay.
the whole like got milk trick thing.
I love it. Hey, you got milk?
Got
But the thing about it though, right to the point, right? You got options? We do. There you go. And who you're going to call, where you're going to get the help. So you got all the ingredients right there. And I'm certainly not going to miss the number. Right? There's no doubt about the number to call. Terrific. Excellent. So we know what the question is, right? Things to do besides running away. What are we going to do?
Well, you can talk to your parents about how you feel. Now you can create a close relationship with them through that, and that'll help persuade you to stay. You can spend time with your friends and be social, enjoy yourself more in that way. You can get involved at school, sports and everything like that, and or develop a hobby. You can paint, you can cook, you can whatever you want. And finally, you can call NRS.
But you're the second group that said try to take advantage of things that you like to do already, and just try to do more of that if you can. And then everybody was saying talk about it,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah.
Talk to somebody about it, and then the bottom line is getting the help. So where are you going to get the help? And the help is with the National Runaway Switchboard. We've looked at what the crisis is, right? And we've looked at who it is that runs away. We looked at what you can do about it, what you should be thinking about instead of. And the bottom line is trying to get the help, which is the National Runaway Switchboard.
1-800-RUNAWAY.
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 1-800-RUNAWay.